All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into this really powerful idea from an author named Tyra, and it's all about how we relate to Jesus. Is he just a symbol we carry around, or is he actually a guide we follow? Let's get into it. But let's start with a question just for you to think about. Does your faith ever feel, well, more like a memory than something active, something happening right now? You know, like you're looking back at some historical figure instead of actually talking with a guide who's present today. That feeling, right there, is really the core of what we're exploring. So that feeling leads us right into this first big idea, something Tyra calls the mascot problem. And it's basically what happens when this huge figure in your faith starts to feel less like a person you follow and more like, well, a symbol you represent. And you know, it's a super easy trap to fall into, right? Because symbols are easy, they're comfortable, they don't really ask for much. So what is a mascot relationship exactly? Well, think of it like this. It's when Jesus becomes a kind of badge, or maybe like the logo on your team's jersey. He represents your identity, your beliefs, your team, you could say. And look, that gives you a sense of belonging, it validates your worldview. But here's the kicker, the mascot doesn't get a say in your day-to-day decisions. It's all about the affiliation, without any of the accountability that comes from a real interaction. And just look at the words on the screen here. They really tell the whole story, don't they? A mascot represents, affirms, symbolizes. See how passive those are? It's totally static. But a mentor guides, shapes, and mentors. I mean, those are action words. That difference right there, it is absolutely everything. And this whole mascot dynamic, it has some pretty serious consequences. Yeah, on one hand, it validates who you already are, and that feels good. It's comfortable, it's less demanding. But what it really means is that Jesus becomes someone you admire from a distance, not someone you actually follow up close. He becomes a figure you have to defend instead of a voice you actually obey. And the result of taking that easier path? Well, you end up with a static faith, one that kind of distorts what real spiritual formation is supposed to be about. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the alternative? What's the solution here? Well, thankfully, there's a really powerful one. Let's talk about what it looks like to shift from that passive symbol back to being an active guide. So, a mentor relationship, as you can see, it's all about being ongoing and interactive. This isn't some one-time decision you made years ago. It's a continuous conversation. The key words here are active and transformative. This isn't about just staying the same person you've always been. It's about being fundamentally changed. And this quote, wow, it just nails the core tension perfectly. It's so easy to seek inspiration, right? We all want a nice quote to post, a feeling of comfort. But mentorship asks for something more. It asks for submission, that willingness to actually be shaped and corrected, not just told you're doing great. That is a huge, huge distinction. All right, so this all sounds good, but what does this active mentorship actually look like day to day? According to Tyra's work, it really stands on three crucial pillars. Okay, pillar number one, you have to actually expect guidance. I mean, actively look for direction in your concrete everyday decisions. Number two, you've got to accept correction. You have to be open to being challenged, not just getting a high five for what you're already doing. And third, you have to practice trust. That means learning to really listen for that guidance and then actually rely on it in real time. It's not a theory, it's a practice. And when you get those three pieces working together, the whole dynamic it shifts. Your spiritual journey moves from being this passive admiration, cheering from the sidelines like you would for a mascot, to active obedience. That's getting on the field and actually following the coach's play. But you might be sitting there thinking, okay, but what makes this even possible? How does this work? This whole idea of an active, real-time relationship, it really depends on one single foundational belief. And here it is. It all hinges on the belief that Jesus isn't just some figure from a history book. It's the belief in his active, living presence, right here, right now, made accessible to us through the Spirit. Honestly, without that core belief in his active involvement, the whole concept of a mentor just doesn't really hold up. And this slide really shows you what's at stake. Look, without that expectancy, what is spiritual formation? It's static. It's about memory, routine, and just trying your best to imitate someone from the past. But with expectancy, it becomes a living thing. It's a relationship. It's dynamic. It's active. So, to wrap it all up, the most crucial point we've talked about today is this fundamental shift. It's the journey away from a static, comfortable symbol and toward a living, challenging, and honestly transformative mentor. And that leaves us with one final, really powerful question for you to think about. When you look at your own spiritual life, which relationship are you building? Is it a mascot or a mentor?